Ever wondered how Amish farmers grow crops and raise livestock using methods that modern agriculture abandoned decades ago? Their farming rules seem impossibly restrictive to farmers who rely on technology, chemicals, and efficiency for survival. Rule 1: Hand labor. Modern farmers operate massive tractors, combines, and specialized equipment that can plant, cultivate, and harvest hundreds of acres per day with GPS precision. Amish farmers reject all motorized equipment, performing every farming operation by hand or with simple tools. Planting involves dropping seeds individually. Cultivation requires hand hoeing, and weeding becomes a family activity. This manual approach requires exponentially more time and physical effort than mechanized farming. Rule 2: Animal power. Contemporary agriculture relies on diesel-powered machinery that operates regardless of weather, time, or animal welfare concerns. Amish farmers use exclusively horses, mules, and oxen for all heavy farm work, including plowing, planting, cultivating, and harvesting. These animals require daily care, feeding, veterinary attention, and rest periods that delay farm operations. Weather conditions, animal illness, or fatigue can halt essential farming activities during critical planting and harvest windows when modern farmers continue working with machinery. Rule 3: Chemical rejection. Modern agriculture depends on synthetic fertilizers that boost yields dramatically, pesticides that eliminate crop-destroying insects, and herbicides that control weeds without manual labor. Amish farmers completely reject all chemical inputs, relying instead on compost, animal manure, and crop rotation for soil fertility. Pest control involves hand-picking insects, companion planting, and accepting significant crop losses that chemicals could prevent. Weed management requires constant manual cultivation rather than herbicide applications. This chemical-free approach results in lower yields and higher labor requirements while increasing vulnerability to pests and diseases. Rule 4: Seed selection. Commercial farmers purchase genetically modified seeds designed for maximum yields, disease resistance, and uniform growth patterns that optimize mechanical harvesting and market prices. These hybrid varieties require annual repurchasing but deliver predictable, profitable results. Amish farmers use only heirloom varieties and seeds saved from their own previous harvests. These traditional varieties often produce lower yields, irregular sizing, and varying maturity dates that complicate harvesting and marketing. However, they maintain genetic diversity and allow seed saving that eliminates annual seed costs. Seed selection focuses on varieties their ancestors grew rather than modern improvements that increase productivity. This approach preserves agricultural heritage while sacrificing potential profits and efficiency gains that hybrid seeds provide. The commitment to traditional varieties means accepting reduced competitiveness in markets dominated by standardized, high-yielding crops that modern agriculture produces through advanced plant breeding and genetic modification. Rule 5: Weather dependence. Modern farmers use irrigation systems, greenhouses, and climate control technology to maintain optimal growing conditions regardless of natural weather patterns. Drought conditions trigger automatic sprinkler systems, while excessive rain is managed through drainage tiles and covered storage facilities. Amish farmers depend entirely on natural rainfall and seasonal weather patterns without technological intervention to modify growing conditions. Drought years mean crop failure and economic hardship without irrigation backup systems. Excessive rainfall causes flooding, disease, and harvest delays without drainage infrastructure or controlled environments. Planting schedules follow traditional timing based on natural indicators rather than weather forecasting and soil temperature monitoring that guide modern planting decisions. This approach aligns with natural cycles, but creates vulnerability to climate variability that technology could mitigate. Weather-related crop losses are accepted as divine will rather than preventable problems requiring technological solutions. This philosophical acceptance of natural conditions eliminates the weather risk management strategies that protect modern farmers from climate-related economic disasters. The dependence on natural weather patterns makes farming outcomes unpredictable and potentially devastating during extreme weather events that modern agriculture manages through technological intervention. Rule 6. Harvest timing. Modern agriculture uses moisture meters, weather forecasting, and mechanical harvesting equipment that operates on optimal schedules to maximize crop quality and minimize field losses. Combines can harvest hundreds of acres quickly during narrow windows of perfect crop maturity and weather conditions. Amish farmers harvest crops manually when they judge them ready based on traditional indicators like color, texture, and natural ripeness signs. This subjective timing system relies on experience rather than scientific measurement of optimal harvest conditions. Hand harvesting requires weeks or months to complete what machinery accomplishes in days, creating risks of weather damage, overripeness, and quality deterioration during extended harvest periods. Family members and community volunteers work together during harvest season, but human labor limitations mean some crops may pass peak quality before harvesting is complete. Corn is picked by hand and husked manually, requiring significantly more time than mechanical corn pickers that strip ears efficiently. Hay is cut with horse-drawn mowers and gathered by hand rather than modern hay balers that create uniform bales quickly. This manual approach creates beautiful rural scenes but produces economic inefficiencies and quality risks that modern farmers avoid through mechanized harvesting systems that optimize timing and minimize labor requirements. Rule 7. Storage methods. Contemporary farming relies on grain bins with controlled atmosphere systems, refrigerated storage facilities, and chemical preservatives that maintain crop quality for extended periods while preventing spoilage and pest damage. Modern storage systems monitor temperature, humidity, and gas levels automatically to preserve stored crops until market prices optimize. Amish farmers use traditional storage methods, including root cellars, wooden silos, and natural preservation techniques that require no electricity or chemical additives. These methods work effectively but require more labor and create higher spoilage risks than modern controlled storage systems. Root cellars maintain consistent temperatures through earth insulation, preserving vegetables and fruits through winter months without refrigeration. However, temperature fluctuations and humidity changes can cause spoilage that refrigerated storage prevents. Grain storage in wooden structures requires careful moisture management and pest control through natural means rather than chemical fumigation that eliminates storage pests efficiently. This traditional approach accepts some losses to insects and rodents that modern storage systems prevent. Hay storage in traditional barns requires proper curing and ventilation to prevent mold and spontaneous combustion risks that modern hay preservation systems eliminate through controlled drying and storage conditions. Food preservation relies on canning, smoking, drying, and fermentation techniques that preserve food effectively but require significant labor and skill compared to commercial freezing and chemical preservation methods. Rule 8. Livestock care. Modern livestock operations use artificial insemination, embryo transfer, and genetic testing to optimize breeding programs for maximum productivity and efficiency. Veterinary care includes antibiotics, vaccines, and surgical procedures that prevent disease and death while maximizing animal performance through scientific management. Amish farmers rely on natural breeding methods where bulls and stallions mate with females naturally, eliminating genetic control and breeding efficiency that artificial insemination provides. This approach produces genetic diversity but prevents the rapid genetic improvement that modern breeding programs achieve. Healthcare for animals emphasizes prevention through natural feeding, sanitary conditions, and herbal remedies, rather than pharmaceutical interventions. Serious illnesses and injuries are treated with traditional methods or accepted as natural losses rather than expensive veterinary procedures that could save animals. Antibiotics and vaccines are avoided, creating higher disease risks and mortality rates than modern livestock operations experience through preventive health care programs. Diseases that modern veterinary medicine easily prevents can devastate herds that rely only on natural immunity and herbal treatments. Feed programs use farm-grown hay, corn, and pasture rather than scientifically formulated rations that optimize nutrition for maximum growth, milk production, and reproductive performance. This natural feeding approach produces healthier animals but lower productivity than commercial feed programs achieve. Housing systems rely on traditional barns with natural ventilation rather than climate-controlled facilities that maintain optimal temperatures and air quality year-round. Environmental stress from temperature extremes and poor air quality can affect animal health and productivity in traditional housing systems. Rule 10. Community cooperation. Modern agriculture operates as individual business enterprises where farmers make independent decisions about crops, markets, and farming methods based on personal profit maximization and competitive advantage. Agricultural success is measured by individual income, efficiency, and business growth rather than community welfare or collective benefit. Amish farming emphasizes community cooperation over individual competition through shared decision-making, mutual assistance, and collective welfare that prioritizes community needs above personal profit. Major farming decisions often require community consultation and approval rather than individual choice based on market opportunities. Barn raisings and harvest assistance demonstrate community cooperation where entire neighborhoods work together to complete major projects that individual families cannot accomplish alone. These collaborative efforts build community bonds while accomplishing essential farming tasks through shared labor. Equipment sharing reduces individual capital requirements while ensuring that expensive tools remain available to community members who cannot afford individual ownership. Horse-drawn implements are shared among families, eliminating duplicate purchases and maintaining community interdependence. Market decisions consider community impact rather than individual profit maximization. Farmers avoid competing directly with neighbors or engaging in price competition that could harm community relationships and economic stability. Knowledge sharing ensures that farming innovations and successful techniques spread throughout the community rather than providing competitive advantages to individual farmers. Experienced farmers mentor younger community members rather than protecting trade secrets for personal benefit. Financial assistance flows naturally within the community when individual families face economic hardship due to weather, illness, or other challenges. Community members contribute labor, money, and resources to support struggling neighbors without expectation of direct repayment. This cooperative approach creates economic security and social stability while limiting individual wealth accumulation and competitive advantage that characterize modern agricultural business models. The community benefits take precedence over individual success, creating farming systems that prioritize collective welfare over personal achievement. Rule 11. Seasonal restrictions. Modern farmers work according to optimal timing based on soil conditions, weather forecasting, and market demands rather than religious or community calendars. They plant, cultivate, and harvest when conditions maximize yields and profits, often working 7 days a week during critical periods. Amish farmers must observe strict Sabbath restrictions that prevent farm work on Sundays regardless of weather conditions or crop needs. This religious requirement can create significant problems during time-sensitive operations like haymaking, harvest, or planting when optimal conditions coincide with forbidden work days. Spring planting may be delayed if ideal soil conditions occur on Sundays, potentially affecting entire growing seasons. Hay cutting faces similar restrictions, risking quality loss if weather windows close during Sabbath observance. Harvest operations must pause for religious observance even when crops face weather threats or market timing pressures. Emergency animal care is permitted, but routine farming operations cease completely on Sundays. This inflexibility contrasts sharply with modern agriculture's 7-day operational schedules designed to maximize efficiency and respond to time-critical agricultural needs that don't respect religious calendars. Rule 12. Size limitations. Contemporary agriculture achieves profitability through economies of scale, with successful farms often covering thousands of acres managed by sophisticated machinery and technology. Large-scale operations reduce per-unit costs while maximizing total production and income potential. Amish farms deliberately maintain small sizes that individual families can manage using traditional methods and horse-drawn equipment. Most Amish farms range from 20 to 80 acres, sizes that modern agriculture considers economically unviable for commercial production. These size restrictions prevent the mechanization and efficiency gains that make large-scale farming profitable. Small acreages limit total production capacity while maintaining high per-acre labor requirements that reduce overall profitability compared to large mechanized operations. Farm expansion beyond family management capacity is discouraged to preserve community values and prevent the individual wealth accumulation that large farms generate. This limitation ensures farming remains family-centered rather than business-oriented, but creates economic constraints that prevent competitive advantages through scale. The small farm philosophy prioritizes family involvement and community integration over profit maximization, deliberately rejecting the growth strategies that modern agriculture uses to remain economically competitive. These 12 farming rules reveal how Amish agriculture deliberately rejects modern efficiency and technology in favor of traditional methods that seem economically suicidal to contemporary farmers. While modern agriculture maximizes yields through machinery, chemicals, and scientific management, Amish farming prioritizes community values, environmental stewardship, and religious principles over profits and productivity. Their approach creates sustainable farming systems that preserve soil health, maintain genetic diversity, and support community cooperation while accepting lower yields, higher labor requirements, and economic limitations that modern farmers would consider business failures. These restrictions demonstrate how religious communities can maintain alternative economic systems that challenge basic assumptions about agricultural progress, efficiency, and success. Subscribe to Tradition Forge for more insights into traditional farming wisdom that challenges everything modern agriculture considers essential for success.